Welcome back to Bust Picks. It is episode 51.
Yep.
51. I'm very close to just forgetting how many episodes we're doing, and just gonna start doing just Bust Picks.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's good enough. That's good enough. Hit the milestones only.
Welcome back. My name is Dio. That is Don.
How we doing?
We took a week off.
Thanksgiving, family time, all that stuff.
We went to the Ravens-Chargers game Monday Night Football for your birthday.
Yeah, we saw that game live. That was great.
That was a fun time. I did like watching people realize how good Lamar Jackson in real life was. That was really cool. Watching people realize.
There was about a 50-50 split out of the people sitting around us.
You think so?
Where there was a couple people that just left immediately.
Uh-huh.
And then there was a few more and then there's another like good-sized group who were just there going, yeah, we lost this game, but damn, Lamar's an athlete.
Yeah, there's so many people that are like, Lamar is insane. We wish we won this game. Like the sentiment. Don, give me a fact of the day.
Fact of the day. It's a commonplace piece of lore that everyone knows. Brett Favre's first ever NFL pass was for a pick six. His first.
Don, didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
So Favre's first pass was for a pick six. His first completion was to himself.
What?
Yeah.
Is this on totem of like the same Josh Allen catching the ball, throwing it to himself?
Not Josh Allen, CJ Stroud. Because a lot of people were comparing because Stroud's first completion in the NFL was to himself.
I don't remember
as
that.
well. But his first interception broke his streak, which was currently the NFL record for most completions to start a season without an interception. He threw in week 6 to the Saints to linebacker Zach Braun. But instead of a pick six, Zach Braun takes it back up the field, gets it popped out 3 feet away from where Stroud threw it. Texans ball, first down.
Sick. Wait.
And then we have Josh Allen now having the first ever game where he's run for, caught, and thrown a touchdown.
Is that the first time ever?
The first time ever in NFL history. So just weird quarterback lore stuff.
Was that the coolest touchdown run that you've ever seen? Or like catch by a quarterback to score?
That was awesome. That was so much fun to see.
It's not better than like the Nick Foles catch
we've seen a few guys try to high point.
I think the Marcus Mariota catch is better, the playoff one against the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was just him going all out for it.
I love that. Lamar had one a few years ago where he like batted and he caught it and he ran for first down.
Yeah, but
that one's always sick.
That one just by Allen was crazy.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun.
Josh Allen's a dog. Let's move into replay review. We're going to go over some of the games of last week. Replay review. Lions versus Bears. We're going to touch just on one of the Thursday night Thanksgiving games. Quick recap of the other two. One, Cowboys suck and the Giants suck, and I'm sad we all had to watch football.
That was just... It was entertaining. I understand the hype coming in when it was supposed to be Dak versus Danny, and Danny just got paid, and everyone's excited for the rivalry game. Like, I understood what they were going for.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush versus Tommy DeVito is a very different game.
It was better than I thought, but it was still bad.
Well, when both teams are bad, they look competitive together.
Packers-Dolphins, on the other hand, Packers are legit Super Bowl competitive team. I think they're a very good team.
That was a great game.
And the Dolphins, I don't think it's time to give up or blow it up over there. I think it's just a season full of injuries and things that didn't work, and I think Mike McDonald's starting to get on that hot seat a bit.
Yeah, McDaniels is getting a little bit, but I think it's just more his team. I like what they're doing, Jonnu Smith, because finally the offense is working again.
He's doing cool shit.
Because that's what worked last season was you had an element outside of Waddle, outside of Hill, and Raheem Mostert, who was able to be a crazy athletic and drive the offense that set up those deeper plays, those more developing routes. Jonnu Smith is just that this season. It took too long to figure that out.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't have taken this many weeks. I mean, Tua was out for a while, the concussion and everything. I understand that.
It takes time for teams to figure out their identity, but sometimes it takes you too long.
It took them way too long this season. That was the issue.
But let's get into the game we want to talk about. It's the Lions versus Bears. Caleb Williams had a very good game, probably his best professional game. threw the ball well, was running around a lot in the second half. That first half, abysmal.
First half, 16-0 Lions, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Heading in the half, yeah, they just handled them.
And David Montgomery is showing the world why he's a top 10 running back. Jahmyr Gibbs had a fumble, but like they were having a good productive day, and then like everything fell apart for them in the end. At the end,
Yeah, things started stagnating a bit. The offense just couldn't click really well.
which is kind of the second time in a row, even against the Colts, like they weren't completely dominating the Colts.
Yeah,
like
you
they
expected,
won, but like they weren't doing Lions what we're used to.
yeah, earlier in the season, you saw the Lions when they won games, they were running the score up and they were scoring into the 30s. They're not doing that in the last 2 weeks, and it could be teams are getting figured out, or just maybe they're trying to play more conservative thing and they have the game, but it just feels a little too tight.
I just wrote a little note. I will let you know when it comes back into play.
Okay,
All right. That's foreshadowing. I've
sure.
been told. Let's get into the final moment, that final drive.
yeah,
Caleb Williams marches down the field.
yes,
There's time on the clock. He gets sacked. There's 30 seconds left on the clock.
33 by the time he stood up.
There's one timeout,
Yeah.
and that is the last play of the game.
Which is, well, it leads to the last play of the game following the sack,
Yeah,
which is just
Throws an incompletion.
Yeah, we all
with timeout.
Yeah, if you follow anything of the NFL, that was the biggest trending headline of mismanaged clock. Matt Eberflus lost his job over it, which is well deserved in my opinion.
He's been a very bad head coach.
He has been a very bad head coach. He's been called for to be fired for a while now. They got rid of Shane Waldron to kind of see if it was the offensive coordinator issue, kind of a warning shot, I would say, in some ways. But yeah, this is just unforgivable. And I appreciate Caleb. Caleb owned up to it at the end. He said it should have been on him. He did said in the post-game interview. That shouldn't be on your rookie. That should not be on your rookie quarterback whatsoever. I like the rookie taking charge, though.
He always does that. I really do.
I respect that.
I
That's a
love
very
Caleb.
mature thing to do after the game.
I still think he's the best quarterback in this draft. I'm very impressed by him and everyone in this draft.
Yeah. Very few. No, I like every rookie QB so far this season.
We're gonna
They've been
talk
playing
about
well.
we're gonna talk about head coaches in a little bit, like not this episode, but in the future about like, hey, here are the vacancies.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we think people might fit? I don't want to throw you under the bus, but like, there's a couple ideas of like what the Bears should do next.
Yeah.
And I think Mike Vrabel is perfect for them.
I think that would be the best setup. This defense did clamp down. They're still one of the best red zone defenses
They're
in
very
the
good
league.
defense. They have good players.
I think having a Mike Vrabel, like kind of a leader among men kind of head coach.
Just
like,
set a tone.
to set a tone. I think that's what this team needs, because 20 to 23, like them losing by just a field goal, it feels like the Lions escaped. Like they got away. It feels like they got away with one.
And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it next week.
I mean,
tomorrow.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting game.
Let's go into the next game. It is the Raiders versus Chiefs. Another weird nail biter from the Chiefs. Didn't cover the spread. In fact, probably should have lost this game against the Raiders.
I think they could have. We saw at the end with a missed snap with a fumble. One of the referees was running in the field calling a false start.
I think.
Which, I mean, it's just one of those. I'm not saying it was a false start. I'm not. I mean, to me,
I think it was a false start.
I think it was a false start. I'm not trying to say like anything. It was another weird way the Chiefs have fluky winning these games sometimes.
I don't know what it is. And it happens to really good teams that are just well coached. They somehow find themselves in these positions. It's
Yeah.
I've seen the Patriots do it so many times where they like luck their way out of really situations where they should have lost or did lose, and they're like, "Oh, D Ford was offsides," and you're just like, "All right, I guess he was," and and then they just win. I think the Chiefs just have that right now. They kind of just have the football god's luck.
Yeah, every call seems to be just somehow working in a good way.
I don't know about call.
A lot of critical moment calls.
I don't even think that. I think just moments. I think moments, period. There was no call on that field goal block. There was no call on that Isaiah Likely missed touchdown.
Yeah.
There's no call on a lot. That one was a call.
The
100%.
Bengals one.
They also fumbled the snap. So it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Bengals one was a call.
Yeah, that was a call. Yeah. But Raiders, I really thought we're going to, like, at the end of that, I was like, oh, they might tie this up. They can go for the win right now. Like, it felt like things were trending in that direction very quickly.
Carlson had a bad game.
Yes.
The Raiders.
A lot of kickers have for the last couple weeks.
We're gonna.
I know. But I'm just saying, like,
that might be the title of today.
I mean, it's a lot. Like, yes, I do agree, but I'm just saying it seems like the last couple of weeks, weather gets colder. A lot of guys have been missing.
That and 100% fair.
Yeah.
It's hard to kick a football.
It's hard to kick a football,
Especially when it's freezing cold or it's wet. It's like kicking a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Go try to kick a rock.
and kick it accurately for over 30 yards.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Saying that, you're paid to kick the rock.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's your job.
I'm at a point, though, with the Raiders where I'm done talking about them for the rest of the year. They're in tank mode. We don't got to talk about them anymore.
Yeah,
It's
this
done.
was their last kind of big upset that they were playing for.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's just time to coast to the end.
Do you still believe that Patrick Mahomes is at least the second best quarterback in the NFL?
I
I
have
know-
such a hard time with that right now.
Me and you were both on like Lamar 1, and like Josh Allen probably is playing the best football.
I think I've seen Josh Allen and Lamar both do crazy things with their offenses when there's not a lot of weapons around them.
They don't have a lot of weapons in Kansas City.
And
They have less weapons in Kansas City than they do in both those teams.
Yeah, right now. But I'm saying like throughout the last 6-7 years. Like I'm saying we've seen a lot come out of Lamar. We've seen a lot out of Josh Allen. We've seen a lot out of quarterbacks when they have a very little around them. I'm not seeing that same level out of Mahomes. That
they
being
have
said, they don't have to.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things are going their way. So I'm like, that's the dilemma I'm in right now.
I think in about 3 years, Patrick Mahomes will go back to being like full Patrick Mahomes. I think they're kind of in a rebuild, which is weird.
Yeah, they're in a soft rebuild.
And it's kind of weird to see, like, we're not used to seeing teams rebuild right in front of our eyes and still be competitive.
It's a hard thing to do. It is a very difficult thing to run.
It takes institutionalized players that know how to hold the foundation of a team, and guys like Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And you can say what you want, but Travis Kelce maybe not having the best year. He's still a voice in that locker room. That's very important.
Yeah.
Chris Jones, who amplifies everyone on that defensive line.
Yeah.
it's
a lot of respect for Chris Jones. That dude's a beast.
yeah. So it's I find a hard time putting slander on the Chiefs. I remember what it was like to watch Chiefs fans kind of be like in a bad spot for a long time, and now I'm just kind of like, I'm happy this is they're like in like my football brain. I'm like, this is kind of what you want from your from anyone's franchise. A smaller market team hits with a quarterback, gets a secondary coach that was deemed a loser for a long time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're rattling off dynasty. It's just hard for me to hate that.
Okay.
Even
Yeah,
if
sure.
they are very hateable.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very easy too for me.
Colts Patriots, the biggest rivalry of the weekend. For sure. Biggest rivalry game of all time, maybe. I don't know.
I think
a
like 2004.
Michigan Ohio State game would came in second for sure. I'll tell you that.
Oh my goodness! Patriots officially eliminated from
That was
playoffs.
the note. Are they?
Yes, they are officially out of playoff contention with that loss.
I don't even want to talk about this game besides one thing. It's time for me to tell you all how much I love Anthony Richardson. I think it's happening.
Okay.
I think it's currently happening, and I know what I'm setting myself up for.
Yeah.
I know this is.
It is just the Patriots.
Let me work it. Let me work through this. I get it. I love Anthony Richardson, and I shouldn't be. He's a bad guy, and all my friends are going to tell me the same thing they've told me with all the past guys I've seen. You know, he's just on your team, Dio. He's not that good, or hey man, he's not really responding to your texts, or like, hey man, like.
What are you going
Like,
with?
I know he's probably not going to be the one for me down the road,
Yeah.
but let me have fun with him for now.
You try to convince yourself that Carson Wentz still had something left in the tank.
Carson Wentz did have something left in the tank.
This is just this all over again.
Carson Wentz almost took us to a playoff game. Gardner Minshew almost took us to a playoff game.
Okay.
I fell in love with Phil. I still love Phillip Rivers.
I mean, I like Phillip Rivers
took me
when
to a
he was a
playoff
Charger. Like, he was a fun guy.
Jacoby Brissett. I was doing MVP chants for Jacoby Brissett when he beat Kansas City in Kansas City. I love my guys.
Yeah, no, you're ride or die.
And Anthony Richardson, all right, yeah, does he have under 50% completion percentage? Yeah, maybe. Maybe he runs really slow. He does. He does run really slow. But he plays
Yeah.
with his heart on his sleeve, and he's getting better every week. And if you watch the game, you can actively see him getting better at football.
It seems like he is getting more comfortable.
Yeah.
That is true.
I just don't know if it's ever going to be good enough to be impactful in the AFC.
That's the worry is you see the consistent, like he's figuring things out. He is improving. What's the ceiling and how long is it going to take to get there?
It's also only game 12. It's game 12.
Yes, but I'm seeing more out of other rookies. If we're going to make the rookie argument, I'm seeing a more complete game out of Caleb oftentimes.
You wanna play a
I'm
game?
seeing more complete games out of Bo Nix.
Let's play a game.
Sure.
Would you rather? Let's play a would you rather round. Anthony Richardson or Caleb Williams? Who would you rather have?
Caleb Williams. Yeah,
That's
that
the right
feels
answer.
easy.
Anthony Richardson or Jaden Daniels? Who would you rather have?
Jaden Daniels.
Anthony Richardson or Bo Nix? Who would you rather have?
I think Bo Nix. I'm a big Bo Nix fan right now.
I've been a Bo Nix guy.
Yeah.
And no one's been ringing the bell harder than me for Bo Nix. This is loose.
I've noticed.
I like Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I would still take Anthony Richardson over him. The fall off for Bo Nix in about 2 years, people are going to be like, wow, what happened? But same thing could be for Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is he's already taken a lot of injuries for his age.
Anthony Richardson or Michael Penix Jr.?
I haven't seen enough of Penix, so Richardson by default. I mean, Penix has only come in garbage time and it's not done well.
Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson?
That's the line to me. That's the litmus for right now. I'm gonna take Richardson for the moment. I think Bryce Young has a better ceiling.
And all the names that I gave you, Anthony Richardson is a year and a half younger than.
Yeah,
And some of them 2 or 3.
yeah, but he's been in the league as long as Bryce Young.
But he's played less games than Caleb Williams.
He's played less, but he's had more time with the training staff. He's had more time with head coaches. That's a lot.
It is, but it also isn't. At the end of the day, his biggest flaw was he needed to play games. He hasn't played games.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. He's still a rookie. No, but the Patriots, Drake May looked really good, and
Drake May is developing very well for considering the team around him.
Gerard Mayo should be fired by the end of the year. He's not a good head coach.
I think he's doing the best he can with what's around him.
Do you think so?
I think so, because we expected 3 wins from the Patriots.
Wow, but they have 3 wins.
They have 4, I think.
Okay, I mean,
And they have a shot at maybe. Then they have the shot at maybe picking up 1 more by the end of the season. That's
Miami or
overachieving.
Jets, yeah.
That's well overachieving from what we thought they were going to be.
Yeah,
So like it's at the same time, yes, he should be doing more. I think there are better coaches out there, but given what he has, he's doing well.
Steelers versus Bengals. This is the note, by the way. 21 straight winning seasons by the Steelers, and 18 straight winning seasons for Mike Tomlin, making him the highest winning percentage on a season total.
Sure.
Of any head coach.
I realized, because I'm rooting for that streak to be broken.
Every year.
And every year I do.
Tied for the longest now.
Yeah, and I realized my issue, and I came to this. I trusted Joe Burrow to get something done in a critical moment, and he couldn't do it.
I see what
2
you
turnovers.
did there.
He got outshot out by Russ. Russ threw for more yards, more touchdowns.
Cooking.
Russ was cooking with a Mike Williams who does not really belong on this team right now.
You're gonna make me defend Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow needs to score on every drive. They need to do something because that defense is historically bad. Now, to your defense, you have been saying the only reason Joe Burrow's been so outstanding is because he's had a very good defense. That even when he plays bad, like in playoff games, his defense can carry him.
No, what I've always tried to make the argument is he has 2 elite receivers, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Is not an elite receiver.
I think T. Higgins is one of the best number 2s.
T. Higgins is not better than Zay Flowers. He is not better than Zay Flowers. You're telling me you would rather have...
I would put them in the same tier.
That's a big tier. That tier's like can fit 15 people.
But I put him... I think T. Higgins is above Waddle, is above Devonta Smith in terms of a number 2. Yeah.
You think he's better than Devonta Smith?
He's able to take over games better than Smith and Waddle have. He has taken over games on his own.
I agree, but like so is Devonta and so is Waddle. Like Waddle has not done anything this season.
Yeah, I mean This offense has been limited. He has his separation has been an issue.
Devontae Smith's had really good games.
He's had a couple, yeah, but I think Higgins is a bigger
also had
body.
a couple.
Yeah, he's a bigger body. He's more physical. He's a better possession guy.
Drake London or T. Higgins?
I think that's the conversation.
That's
I think
crazy.
that's the tier. I think that's the tier. Those are the guys. Yes,
that's crazy.
But I think so. That's my issue with Joe Burrow. Bengals now in 4 of their last 5 games they have lost now.
Yeah, they're in full like it's bad.
It's bad. But 4 out of their last 5 games are losses. In those 4 losses, they've had 34 points scored. They've put up 34 or more on by themselves. Out of their 6, they've had that happen 6 times this season.
Yeah, man.
They've put up or they've allowed 34 on them. I know this defense is bad, but Trey Hendricks somehow is sack leader.
Well, that's because he has to pass rush a ton. Because the Bengals are still scoring points, and Joe Burrow statistically still having an okay, like a pretty good season.
He's having an okay one.
He's having a pretty good season. Some people are chanting MVP votes for him, which is insane.
That's too much.
That's insane. But he's having a pretty good statistical season. Yeah. He is turning over the ball a lot, though.
Yeah, he's had high frequency of turnovers. He has, and that's what cost him, I think, in this one.
I think their defense not being able to stop a water leak is the number one thing on that team.
That is the biggest thing. Going into the last couple minutes, they were within a shot, and they had the interception and a fumble by Burrow.
It just feels like historically the Bengals franchise is consistently in this position where they're like, all right, we found our quarterback. We found a good receiver. And the team's broken. You'll get one good year. Goodbye. We're going to try to rebuild for the next 7.
It is infuriating because if they had a complete roster, things would... They paid their defense. That's been their biggest issue. Yeah, they never pay their secondary,
letting their corners walk out and go be productive in other defenses. It's
yeah.
Hey man, I'm not running that franchise. I can say this though: the Steelers, one of the best franchises. I don't care if it's mediocrity. If you sign me up for a winning season for 21 straight years, I'll take that tonight.
That's where you and I disagree.
I understand that.
Yeah.
They have the same amount of Super Bowls in your lifetime as the Ravens do.
Yeah.
They are as good of a franchise as the Ravens. If not historically better, but that's a weird comparison.
Yeah, it's weird when you have more, a couple more decades. But no, I respect I do have respect for the Steelers. That's never been. It's not like I treat the Bengals. I do have respect for them because that's what makes one of the best rivalries in football.
The second best rivalry next to the Colts and Patriots. Yes.
But I think that's why I respect. I want the Steelers to be there.
Yeah.
They're a fun guy to hate. That's how I feel towards them. And so I respect it. It's on the flip side, the Bengals. I'm just like, why are you around? Why are you here? That's the issue.
You know why the Bengals are around.
No, we're not getting to the history of them. But I meant more of the. That's not you have the pieces and you're not doing anything with it. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's infuriating. All the time.
That's more what I mean.
Bucks versus Panthers. Buccaneers. What Baker Mayfield's doing, it slaps me across the face because I never thought that this is what they were going to be. I didn't think they were going to be this impressive. I didn't think he was going to be this impressive. I thought there was going to be a regression year. I thought there was going to be even talks of them possibly drafting a quarterback in this draft. That's not happening.
No.
Baker's good.
Baker's having fun, and that's the scariest thing sometimes.
Bucky Irving is the best rookie running back in this draft. And this is a guy who really believes in Jonathan Brooks.
Jonathan Brooks just hasn't been on the field yet.
Bucky Irving is so silky smooth and quick and he's small, but he still breaks a tackle every single run. It's so much fun. And this Buccaneers team, I really want to see them win this division.
Yeah, I think that they have a great shot at it still.
The Buccaneers are also quietly one of the best teams of this decade. They won a Super Bowl with Brady, and they've been pretty consistently good for the past 5 years.
No, and a big part of that is getting Baker, maintaining Mike Evans, and I know Godwin's down right now, but just maintaining a consistent offense.
Yeah.
And they're able, their defense is aging, but they've been able to, with their offense being consistent, turn those guys over and get some new blood in there pretty easy.
Very good.
I mean, Vita Vea is a gold jacket in my mind. And I don't think that's a controversial take.
He's on his way there. I don't know if he's there yet. He's on his way there.
I mean, give him another 2 seasons and he's first
he's
ballot.
He's going to be at I don't know about first ballot.
I think he's in that. He is one of the greatest DTs of our generation.
Wow, you really love Vita Vea like that.
I love Vita Vea
I
like
think
that.
he's a very
He's a
good player. I
scary
don't know
man.
if he's like that. But, I mean, he doesn't rush the passer, which I think is, at the end of the day, in a new world where DTs get sacks now.
Yeah. He's the last kind of old school where he's
run
like,
stuffer.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know not a lot of guys like that anymore,
They're
but
good.
I'm just saying there's a
the
reason,
best.
statistically speaking, no one can run the ball in Vita Vea.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Panthers, Bryce Young. This is also, as much as we are the Lamar Jackson hype club, we are also a Bryce Young friendly show.
I think the benching worked out for him.
I think it
like
worked
I was advocating so much that he needed to be on a different team. Apparently, he just needed a few weeks off.
Look, sometimes you just need to take a step back and really view everything from a different scope. He's been playing very well. This
Yes.
Panthers team is kind of the Panthers team I was saying in the preseason, where I thought that they were going to have a little bit of juice in them.
Yeah, a little friskiness.
Maybe win a couple games. I said they were going to win 6 games before the season. I don't think that's possible now. I think they're at 3 or 4 wins.
Yeah, it's a big ask now.
But I still think next year could be a year where maybe I talk myself into NFC wild card, maybe even a divisional race.
They need a hit on a receiver for me before I start believing that. Thielen, I love the guy. Like I'm a fan. 33 is too old.
Had an insane catch.
Insane catch that wasn't a catch, but it should be a
wasn't
catch.
a catch?
The end zone?
No, I was talking about
okay.
the one where he's like back shoulder and he caught it with
No,
one hand.
okay. I was thinking the end zone shot. I'm like,
that
some
one
reason
wasn't
they
a catch.
Nah, that's borderline to me. But at the same time, I think they just need to hit with somebody. Mingo hasn't been it.
Traded him. They traded him to the Cowboys.
Yeah, they got rid of
Cowboy now.
They got rid of Deontay Johnson. Like they need.
Who's suspended?
We'll get into that one. But yeah, they just need something on the offense to give more assistance.
Yeah, Adam Thielen's 34 years old.
Yeah, like what? He's not the future for this roster at this point.
They went and got Leggett, the rookie from.
Leggett is great, but
been
they
good.
need more. They just need a couple more weapons.
Don, it's your game. It's the Eagles versus Ravens, buddy.
Sadness, just pure sadness in this game.
It's sad.
It was a rough one to watch. Not too much. The Ravens defense finally showed up, which was very encouraging to watch. They were able to shut down 3/4 of this game and just leaving points on the board. You can't do that.
Is that what you're going to call that?
That's what it was. Tucker left points on the board for us.
How many points has he left on the board this season?
He left 7 on this week. I think he's left 23 total.
26.
26. Okay.
He's left 26. Guess what their point margin?
It's 26 exactly.
26.
Yeah. No, I know.
If he
that is the
hits
difference for our
all
team.
of his field goals, you guys are undefeated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, average wise, yeah. By the averages, yeah. We would have won this game if he hit every kick,
or 2 of them.
Yeah. We lost by 5 and he missed 4. 1 extra point and 3 field goals.
Yeah. It's shocking what's happened to Justin Tucker.
It is a mechanics issue. I went back and I did watch a lot of the side by sides of like previous seasons to this season.
Is that worse?
I don't know. And I don't know. I have been trying to tell myself it's not that big of a deal. But I mean, and it's hard to make adjustments in the middle of a season like that. Like to make, because every tweak you make could be worse. Could make this dramatically worse because it's trial and error. So
Where's
I
the
don't
panic
know.
meter? On a scale from 1 to 10, where are you right now?
I mean, honestly, this is like, it is a panic. Don't get me wrong. I am very concerned.
10 being like, fire him?
No.
Like he needs to be cut? 1 being like, get contract extension.
Like for me, it's at a 4 or 5 right now.
Whoa.
Like I am quite worried. I am quite concerned.
5 is crazy.
I think because I want to see, because nothing's going to change this season. Like he's not going to be cut. We're not going to bring in another.
Your coach said a comment. Right now, we're not looking to change it.
No, we're not. And like, I don't think there is going to be a change this season.
I don't think so either, unless he misses another 3 field goals.
We'll see. But I mean, there's not going to be a big shift this season in my mind. Mm-hmm. It's can this off season, when he's going to go in the lab, start making all the adjustments, start making the changes, will those be effective?
Yeah.
Or will you adjusting your mechanics to a point just ruin the kick overall?
I agree.
And it's a very critical, very difficult point in a kicker. And I feel like for a kicker,
my panic meter's at a 7. I think it's something worrisome, but I still believe in him.
Yeah, I'm giving him a lot of due.
year.
Yeah, I think I think if he could correct this.
But he's not even close to when he sets up for a field goal. I'm like, he's hitting this.
No, I'm starting to worry.
I'm not even. I'm at 50-50 now. Almost damn near every kick.
I'm not there yet. I'm still 70-30. But that's
Eagles. Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the NFL.
Saquon's a beast. Saquon's an animal.
Not in the MVP voting. I know a lot of people are like, he's an MVP. He's an MVP. He's not. He might hit 2,000. And if he does, cool. Many running backs have hit 2,000 yards and not being MVP. I think Lamar has played himself out of the conversation. I think he's still playing really well, but it just seems like they have a few too many losses compared to what Josh Allen's doing over there in Buffalo with only 2 losses.
Yeah.
And he's kind of doing it in prime time and kind of putting up highlights and like...
I think this is one of the closest MVP because I think there is a great argument for Saquon.
You think there is?
I think there's a strong argument there.
I'm very opposed.
I think he's the dark horse in the race completely. Like
you still think Lamar's in it?
I still think Lamar's in it because statistically he is the alpha right now.
But betting odds wise, not at all.
Betting odds go to Josh Allen. There is an argument for Saquon. There's a few arguments that other people are trying to make for other QBs. Jared Goff's odds have improved.
Jared Goff's odds are 3rd right now.
Yeah, he's stepping up. I know that a lot of people are advocating for Burrow.
He's kind of like the safe blanket, Jared Goff. If you like think maybe Josh Allen injury or like a fall off of Josh Allen or maybe a fall off of Saquon, and like Lamar doesn't like maybe the Ravens lose another 2 games on the season. And like
Goff is the easy pick.
Goff is like all right, throw him in there. Plus it's the Lions. The Lions get
it's like a feel good story. Yeah. So I think it is a very tight race there. I feel like I need to bring up Deontay Johnson after this 100%. Game. The news dropped today. Deontay Johnson is suspended from the Ravens for 1 game. Mm-hmm. We saw Bateman go out in this game, which was a big loss for the Ravens offense because Nelson Aguilar had some critical drops. And watching this game, I was basically screaming. I'm like, where is Deontay? This is why we traded for him. This is why we went after him, is for these reasons. He's supposed to be the sure hands guy. It came out recently. He refused to suit up, refused to go in this game. And I think...
Sounds like he doesn't want to be here.
It sounds very much he doesn't want to be in Baltimore.
Sounds like he wants to get cut so he can go to Kansas City and win a Super Bowl.
That's kind of the mindset I'm feeling a little bit right now. I don't know about the Kansas City part, but
I just made that up.
Something out there.
Yeah.
But it is troublesome because he is I think the biggest issue, we were talking about it the other day, is he expects to be the alpha, if not the number 2 on an offense.
Everywhere he's ever been, he's been the number 1.
Yes.
High school, college, the Pittsburgh, in Carolina, he's the number 1, undoubtedly.
Yes.
This is the first time where he's walked in.
He's like the number 5.
I think he's the number 3. I think number 5, you don't trade what you traded for him to be like, oh yeah, and that's our number 5.
Well, I mean, he's behind Derrick Henry. I mean, offensive weapon. I'm not saying receiver.
I think in terms of
offensive weapon, I think he's 4 to 5. Because I'm putting Derrick Henry above him. I think Zay is above him right now. Zay's consistently. Agree. Lamar himself is, I would say, a better is a weapon the Ravens use more.
Passing options. He is a number. He was traded for to be a number 1. He was traded, if not at least a number 2.
A number 2 to Zay, but they haven't used him in that way.
He hasn't been used at all. He's not playing football.
Well, his first 2 games, he had 4 drops that hit him in the hands.
Yeah, but he was also learning the offense.
He's learning the offense, but if a ball hits you in the hands, I don't care if you're learning, you're a receiver, catch it.
I hear you.
And that's my argument for Nelson Aguilar too. Is like if the ball hits you in the hands,
crucial drop,
you're getting paid.
My Eagles' future feels so good right now.
I'm sure it does.
It feels so good right now.
I think it's just indicative. Like I'm starting to have the theory of when Pittsburgh receivers leave Pittsburgh.
I told you this the other day. Yeah. I was like,
they go crazy.
It's not that they go crazy.
Not that they go crazy.
They've always been crazy.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin is somehow the greatest head coach at just keeping things quiet from the media.
He's the crazy whisperer.
He is.
He knows how to talk to crazy because he himself is a crazy guy.
He's a crazy guy.
We got 2 more games to talk about. 49ers and Bills, the snow game. I want to take a quick second of silence for Christian McCaffrey. And that was that. Christian McCaffrey blown out. It's over. It's finito.
No, I don't know finito.
It's
but
over.
PCL injury. He's out for the next 4 weeks, they're saying.
No way.
Shanahan came out, was talking about it. If they make playoffs, McCaffrey would be on the timeline to return.
Do you believe that?
I believe that if they make playoffs, they're going to bring out McCaffrey no matter what state he's in to try to get something going for this offense, because they have been bit by the worst injury bug.
They're not making the playoffs.
No, they're not making the playoffs, and so I think he's a next season guy.
I think it's over.
I don't think so.
I'm day one Christian McCaffrey guy.
I don't think it's over in the slightest. He has clearly made a big effort to want to be on the field no matter what's going on with his health. And it's not...
But sometimes it's not your choice.
Sometimes not your choice.
His body is clearly telling him, hey, you can't walk anymore, buddy.
No, it's not to that extent at all. Like, okay,
he was in Germany, and they were like... He had to go to Germany because all the doctors here were like, you're not playing football anymore.
I mean, I think medicine overseas can arguably be better. And I don't think that the doctors were saying you can't play football anymore. It was a pain management issue.
There was reports saying that he should not be playing football. But to be fair now,
yeah,
every doctor would tell you shouldn't play football.
No, I was going to say, like, I think any professional medical attention should just be like, hey, maybe don't.
I think we talked a lot about this Bills team.
About Allen earlier. Just
they're amazing.
Yeah,
they're legit Super Bowl threat, and this is not what I thought they were going to be.
No, I don't think anyone had this offense soaring the way it has.
And they kind of talked about Diggs leaving was a huge plus on this team because now they had a clear leader instead of two opposing voices.
I mean, it's clearly been a strong result.
They've been taking a lot of shots at Stephon Diggs all season. Crazy.
Stephon Diggs has taken a lot of shots on them too.
Yeah,
it wasn't unwarranted. It's been mutual fire.
You got anything else on this game?
No, not much. I mean, it was just a fun one to watch.
Can I ask you about Brock Purdy for a second?
Sure.
Before the season, you would have said Brock Purdy was a top 5 quarterback.
I don't know, top 5.
You ranked him 4th.
Going into, based
Correct.
on, I don't think overall quarterback, based on going into the season where the team stood overall, yes.
You said he was going to be the 4th.
I don't think in terms of complete talent. Like if I'm taking every quarterback in the exact same situation.
That's how I make my list.
I'm looking at the team around him, the roster, the coaching.
You said he's the 4th best quarterback in the league.
Going into this season.
At the end of this year.
I think he was going to be. And
okay.
If Ayuk performed,
where do you put him right now?
I mean, he's in the late teens.
Late teens.
And it's not his fault. I'm not blaming Purdy for all of this.
I don't think he's that low.
I mean, there's quite a few guys that have stepped up in big ways.
Baker over
I put
Purdy?
Baker over him.
I agree.
I put Baker over him right now. I would have a hard time saying Jameis has not been outperforming him. Like
Jameis Winston?
Jameis Winston.
Let's get into that game.
Yeah.
Browns
W's.
Broncos. Jameis Winston's so sick, and I know every single show in America has talked about Jameis Winston at length. Do you want to know why?
He's just a great guy.
He's awesome. He's everything we love about football encapsulated into one man, and you know what? He knows it.
He's a diehard fan who just somehow got good enough to make it, and we're all just happy for him.
And this is good for the league. The league's always had a couple quarterbacks that are like, man, we just wish they were just better, just enough so that way they would stay. But maybe it's good. Maybe too much cookies for dinner is that. Maybe it's a bad thing, because if we had Jameis Winston every single day, we would take him for granted. We did in Tampa. No one watched.
He was a laughingstock in Tampa.
That's what I'm saying. People were 30 for 30.
Yeah, he was actively being made fun of. I mean, the guy did say that he didn't know Bruce Arians was white. He's like, I got LASIK. I could finally see. I couldn't tell the race of my head coach.
And Bruce Arians, the whitest.
He's
the whitest. Man.
That was an objective. I understand he was speaking hyperbolically and he was exaggerating his condition, but just saying that to the national media in a press conference,
crazy,
wild statement.
Broncos played really well.
Yes.
Still don't know who their starting running back is. I don't think I ever will.
No, I think this is 100% hot hand committee between 4 guys.
Crazy. 4 guys is crazy. Broncos, Jerry Jeudy had his breakout game against them, against his former team.
Yeah,
it
good
was really,
revenge
really
narrative.
cool. That was really, really fun to watch. Bo Nix had one of the coolest touchdown throws I'd seen. It was like it was a perfect throw, and it would have been a pick if he didn't throw it correctly. He's been so much fun. And I'm so happy.
A great addition.
I'm so happy the nation gets to watch Bo Nix for a lot of people's first time. Like like I said, I've been watching Bo Nix for like 5 years now. This guy is so much fun to watch when he's playing really, really well. When he's playing really bad, he is the worst. We're not there yet, though, and it seems like Sean Payton might have figured out a way to only get the good out of him.
I mean, this offense, like we've talked about it before, it has evolved week after week. They have made significant adjustments consistently to this offense around his skill, his strengths, where they kind of kept it in just hot routes, quick passes, and they've developed now where he's able to control more of the offense, have more options around him, and it's working very well in his development.
I really like what they're doing in Denver. There's a bye week this week for Denver, and next week they get to play the Colts and the Broncos, which is definitively probably going to be the wild card slot. Like, for the last wild card slot is that game.
You can make an outside argument on the Dolphins, but that
Dolphins
feels
are 3 games back now.
Yeah,
they're out pretty much.
Yeah,
they have to go on a crazy run, and the Colts have the easiest schedule going for the rest of the year. Broncos kind of have a few sweaters, but like, if the Colts beat the Broncos, they will now have a tied record, and then the Colts it's in their hands. And if that happens, this show is a must watch, because that means what's about to happen is the same thing that happens to Colts fans every year, which is down the stretch we have a clear path and we somehow mess it up at the last second to miss playoffs.
You all just take too much hopium.
It's not hope. It's there. It's right there. It's right there.
Yeah.
And we just miss it every time.
It'll be interesting.
And it's going to be Anthony Richardson's fault. It's going to be his fault. It is, because it always is my quarterback's fault. It was Carson Wentz's fault. It was Gardner Minshew's fault. It was Jacoby Brissett's fault. It's gonna happen again. It's going to happen again.
Okay.
Bust of the week. Don, who's your bust of the week?
I mean, I have to give it to Justin Tucker, and I don't like it. That's a dirty one. But
never in a million years would I have said you were going to pick Justin Tucker as your bust of the week.
He did. This is the second game he has cost this season, like just by the numbers. He has missed more kicks in that Eagles game than he has in 2012, 2013, 2016, 2017, 2019, 2021.
Yeah, it's bad.
He has had entire seasons better performance than that one single game. And it's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking to watch.
This is one of your favorite players of all time.
Yes. Yeah. He's I love him, not just as a player, but as a person.
No, I know.
Like, I've watched his operatic singing. Like, I enjoy him as a human.
No, I know you do. And I thought it'd be more fun watching your favorite player kind of Thanos dust himself right now. But I kind of feel bad.
Yeah, because no one expected it like this.
No, I didn't.
It was. This isn't the slow, gradual shift towards the end, and this isn't just the dramatic. Oh my God, 2 games and he's missed 15 kicks. Like, what's going on? It's just so hot and cold that it's like you think that he's figured it out again, and then he has a game like this, and then he's going to go on a streak with 3 games now where he probably won't miss a thing, and then have another 4 missed game, and it's like, what is going on?
It is ridiculous.
It's it's I
believe in him. I still believe in him.
Oh, I do. I do think he is one of the great. He is one of, if not the greatest kicker in the NFL.
Second best kicker of all time.
I think that he will figure something out. Whether that's he needs to take a step back, whether or not he'll fix it mechanically or mentally, I have faith in him.
Maybe he just needed to be a bust of the week. Maybe that was it. Maybe this is the end of it.
I believe.
You are a top 100 people in the world Justin Tucker fan. That's a fact.
I don't know.
That's a fact. I want to talk about college football real quick. My bust of the week is the college football bracket. We always knew that this is going to be voters. Last year, me and Don had a massive argument about Florida State.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a position where I kind of am arguing for like the same place Don was arguing from. We're like, what's the point of the season if we're not going to put in what you did on the season in the playoffs?
Yes.
But the committee has continuously showed us they're only going to put in teams who they think they can win the national championship.
Which I don't agree with completely. Because if you go and have an amazing season, you can keep the hot hand. It's college. Upsets happen. That's normal.
So that's the South Carolina thing. My bust of the week, though, specifically will be on college football fan bases. I think college football fan bases are very passionate because you can say what you want about pro sports. I love the Lakers. I love the Dodgers. I do feel like I'm a Dodger. I do feel like I'm part of the Lakers organization. Going to your school, college sports is the only thing where you are a part of that team.
Yeah.
You are quite literally in that culture, and it can bring a lot of passion out of people. If your team has lost more than 3 games, you don't get to go on forums and on Blue Sky and on X and give full tirades to SMU fans who have lost 1 game and now have to play for their lives in an ACC title game against Clemson, where if they lose, that will be their second loss in a conference championship game, and they're not going to make the playoffs because South Carolina fans and Alabama fans are crying their eyes out being like, but we're better. Well, then win more games.
Play your schedule. That's you got to play the schedule you're given.
You're in the SEC, and the SEC's competition's really hard. If only you could do. Oh, what if you left the SEC? Then go leave the SEC and be independent like Notre Dame.
Well, and that's the argument we've had where we've talked about in the show where it's college football needs to change how they do their divisions. Structurally, it does not make sense anymore. It doesn't work with how these teams are tiered. It doesn't work with how, especially with
or where it's going.
Players are getting paid or where it's going. The division I think that's holding the most onto this is the SEC.
That's because they have so much power and weight because they are. The Big Ten makes a lot of money, and all these divisions make a lot of money, and all these schools make millions and millions and millions of dollars.
The ones who are the most inflexible to change.
SEC and the Rose Bowl committee. That's a whole other thing.
That's a bowl committee. That's not to the foundation of college football. In the same way the SEC is, and that's the issue. Is they're not changing, and they're whining the loudest when things don't work.
They whine loud.
Yes,
and their fans are the worst. I've fully become an SEC hater. Let's get into play ball. Play ball brought to you by Don's Basement. Again, there's pizza down there, but how long has it been there? Don's Basement. Packers versus Lions Thursday night football. Packers +3. It's a simple bet. I think the Lions have been kissing around about losing a game. I think they have one more loss in them. Is this, hey, Dio, you have a Eagles future, and maybe them having the number 1 seed would be really beneficial to you? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely part of this bet. But I like the Packers +3. I think they can win this game. I might tease a money line. I might go crazy and take a -1. We'll see how that goes.
That's better than money line.
Right?
I would rather take that than money line.
I do it a lot.
It's a better bet objectively.
I do -1.5, and I'll be like +140. Let's go.
Yeah. For me, I'm taking Jamison Williams over 48.5 receiving yards. He's averaging 66.4 on the season right now. And on top of this, he's already broken past this game at home 4 out of 5 games that they've 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 he's played at home. He has gone over this line. The one he didn't was Thanksgiving, didn't clear the line, but he saw 10 targets. So they are feeding him the ball consistently.
I bet on him to score a touchdown that day.
And on top of that, when outside of Lambeau against Green Bay's defense, every outside receiver who has played Green Bay's defense outside of Lambeau Field has hit this line.
All right, so we're hammering Jamison Williams.
Week 1, A.J. Brown hit 119 yards on 5 catches. Week 3, DeAndre Hopkins had 73 on 6 catches.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Week 5, Jordan Whittington had 89 on 7, and Tutu Atwell had 54 on 6.
Boy, Don, I think you got something.
Week 8, Brian Thomas went 3 for 60. And then week 11, DJ Moore had 7 for 62, and Rome Odunze had 6 for 65. I don't know why 48.5 is this line for Jamison Williams. Jump on it. I'm moving it up to 55.
I'm with you.
This just feels...
You sold me, buddy.
I don't know what I'm not seeing in this line. That's the worry right now.
It's in Detroit, right?
It's in Detroit. They're playing in the dome.
Yeah, we're taking maybe people are like, all right, they gave them the 10 targets last week. They're not going to do it again.
I believe that they will. Like this Lions offense is going to because Green Bay can score.
Green Bay can score and they play sneaky good defense.
Yeah. Oh, the Xavier Hutchinson is or not Xavier Hutchinson.
Xavier Hutchinson's the.
No, he's a DT on Houston.
He's the defensive end for the Lions that tore his.
Who am I thinking? Who am I thinking of the corner? Who Xavier McKinney?
Xavier McKinney is the safety for the Green Bay Packers who has like 7 interceptions.
Yeah, he's having
insane.
a career year.
He was really good on the Giants. He does what he does. He probably should have stayed a Giant. They really big instrumental piece of that defense.
Yeah, they should have retained him.
He's very good on the Packers. Let's move into the Falcons versus the Vikings. I'm out on the Falcons. I'm kind of done with them. This is a revenge game, so I do think that they're going to score a lot of points or try to score a lot of points.
Yeah, they're going to try to run it up.
This Vikings defense is good.
Yeah. When the offense has stalled, that's what's keeping That's what's keeping the team in it.
I think this team knows how to kind of handle Kirk, and I don't really love what the Vikings offense has shown me recently. I like the under here at 45.5.
I'm not scared of that one.
Yeah.
For me, I'm taking Sam Darnold over 242.5 passing yards. I'm taking it mainly because of Aaron Jones' fumbling issues.
And he's a little beat up, too.
He's coming in banged up. He has also saw 4 fumbles in the last 3 weeks, including 2 fumbles in his first 4 touches last week.
Cam Akers time.
Cam Akers, Ty Chandler has been seeing rise. I think without having Aaron Jones being the alpha, you can't really trust those two the same way.
No, Aaron Jones is really good.
And so I think they're just going to lean on Darnold a little bit more for passing here. Darnold is averaging 246 per game right now on the season. He's over that line. And Atlanta is giving up over 230 yards average in the last 3 games. That's including Herbert's abysmal groundwork game that they had the other week.
Damn, so they're letting a lot of yards go.
They're letting a lot of passing yards.
Probably shouldn't take the under.
But you have to trust the Falcons to score. You have to trust Minnesota to finish in the red zone without a run game.
I don't.
That's where I'm like, I don't mind the under here. I think between the 20s is going to be flying, though.
Brown Steelers.
I'm so excited for this.
I want to take the Steelers. I really do. I'm taking the Browns plus 6.5. It's just a lot of points.
It's a lot of points in a divisional game. I think this line should
probably be 4.
I'd be more comfortable at 3.5, 4. Considering it's a divisional rivalry game, and the Browns have already done it once.
They beat them already.
They are playing in Pittsburgh. They are playing in Pittsburgh this week, which Acrisure Stadium is one of the more difficult stadiums to play in the winter.
Big environment,
hard to kick in, but the Browns have already figured it out once.
And I've also kind of realized like the Browns are playing with house money. They kind of just want to see Jameis spoil people's day.
Yeah, they're playing spoiler.
I've told you this before. I said. I was very specific about my words on the Steelers. I said they were going to have a winning season.
Yes.
It's over. The winning season's done. They're at 9 wins. They have one more win in their repertoire. It's going to be this game probably, and then they're going to lose 3 straight and limp into the playoffs.
Yeah, that seems realistic.
I think that's what's going to happen.
For me, I'm taking Nick Chubb over 40.5 rushing yards in this one.
Do you feel like he's coming back to life like that?
A little bit. Well, okay, we saw how to beat the Steelers is get on the ground.
Yeah.
Bengals, kept it close for the majority. 12 carries, 70 yards for Chase Brown. Nick Chubb last week when they played, he had 20 for 59. Even Austin Eckler had 13 carries for 44. Very low line of 40.5.
Austin Eckler, though, banged up a bit.
No, he is. But, he was able to get to that point.
Yeah.
Other than Alexander Madison, who only put up 33.
Wait, Austin Eckler had like 90 receiving yards in that game. Though.
Yeah, no, he went off on.
All right.
Yeah, they ran through the air, and he still got over 40 on the ground. Other than Alexander Madison, who put up 33 for the Raiders, every running back who's gotten 13 or more carries against the Steelers has cleared 40 yards this season.
Every running back?
Every running back who's gotten 13 or more carries.
Oh, and I believe in Nick Chubb.
And Nick Chubb is a grinder. He's going to pick up 4, 5 for 15 on the ground.
You've given me 2 bangers. The Jameson Williams and Nick Chubb bets are, I love it. Keep them coming.
Sure.
Seattle Cardinals. What are we doing here, Don?
I'm taking under on Kyler's passing yards, 288.5. We saw Seattle's defense just turn into a juggernaut the other week when they played.
They played the Jets, and it was like ugly. They fumbled like 2 kickoffs, and then the Seattle was like, all right, you're not scoring anymore.
And they did the week before against the Cardinals as well.
Yeah.
Second go around now. Seattle's defense has allowed just 14 points per game over their last 4 games. On average, they have been the best defense statistically over the span of the last 4 weeks.
It's pretty good.
Like, they shut it down. Kyler, I like him. We're fans. We are Kyler fans on this show.
Original Kyler fanboy.
100%. He is 7-18 against the NFC West in his career.
He's very bad against his team.
He averages in his 3 games this season against in divisional. He's averaging almost a full sack more per game, and average of 5 yards more given up per sack, and his interception ratio rises by 50%.
50%.
He's still he goes from under an interception a game to about a full interception a game on average over 3 games.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks in this game. I'm taking the Seahawks plus 2.5 here.
Makes
only
sense.
because I do think the Seahawks have been playing really good defense, and I really want to love the Cardinals because I'm a Kyler Murray stan.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're ready. I think they kind of had just a flashy start, and they're kind of still grinding it away. I kind of still like the Rams to win this division a little bit, but the Seahawks, very good team. I think they're a good team, and they're going to handle them. I think 2.5. They're probably going to cover that.
Yeah, bring in McDonald as a head coach. He is a defensive head coach first.
He's a very good head coach.
He's finally figured out this defense.
I think he's getting there. I think it's going to take a little bit more time. I don't really have a ton of faith in the Cardinals or in the Seattle Seahawks. For some reason, they don't want to run the ball with Kenneth Walker ever.
Yeah, that's a very true. And then their offense is just saved by JSN week in and week out.
He's the best receiver on that team.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. And
We're seeing his breakout. We're seeing his breakout right now.
I love him. He's amazing. He's amazing. I love JSN. Bills, Rams. I just said the Rams are going to probably win their division, and I take that back almost immediately because I have the Bills -5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's just due to matching, like how these teams match up. Buffalo has won 15 straight in December. And are on a 6-game streak of putting up 30 or more points right now.
They're doing crazy stuff, man.
Rams are 25th right now in total defense. 28th right now in run defense. But Bills are coming off their season high of 220 yards on the ground.
They ran it.
That's what this offense is built for with James Cook. I mean, yeah, they need to. Also, Rams right now are the 26th ranked rushing offense. Which means they need to succeed through the air for them. We've seen it with Puka. We've seen it in Cooper Kupp. Bills right now are the second lowest yards per completion in the league, averaging 9.7.
Second lowest?
Second lowest
I didn't
yards
know
per
that.
completion. They shut down with their corners, and they're the 4th highest interceptions right now out of any defense.
Shout out to the Bills, man.
They're
Doing their
quietly
thing.
having a great defensive year.
They're going to have an MVP.
Yeah, Josh Allen's moving in that direction.
Yeah. I'm taking the Bills -5. I like what the Rams
Lockstep.
are, but I'm there. Chargers, Chiefs, which is the Sunday night football game. John Harbaugh kind of got the boys going.
Yeah.
Got the boys in a vibe. I believe in what the Chiefs can do. I believe both teams will score points. I'm taking the over 42.5.
Sure.
I'm taking the over mainly because of this. It's a divisional game. John Harbaugh wants to play a specific brand, and John Harbaugh won a game last week without coaching in one. The Michigan game, that he won that game against Ohio State based on what he built there and the fear he struck into that program. He's bringing that same attitude and same demeanor to this rivalry against the Chiefs. I think both of them can put up 20, and that's all I'm asking for.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Chiefs +4.5 in this one. I'm not really betting the full upset. I just think it's going to be a weird, fluky ending.
+4.5.
Chargers. My bad. Chargers +4.5 in this one. I just think it's going to be a fluky ending. I think it's going to be a closer one.
I like that one too.
I'm also on a side one. I was kind of iffy on saying it publicly. I'm taking Quentin Johnson for a touchdown. It just feels like something weird. Like, it just feels like one of those weird games. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like they're going to give up on Quentin very soon.
I mean, I think they might, but he has gotten the end zone a few times this season already.
Bengals, Cowboys, the game no one wants to watch.
This is going to be gross.
Two teams that are kind of quitting on the year. I think the Bengals are going to try to get out to an early lead, and the Cowboys won't be able to keep up. I'm taking the under minus 49.5.
Sure.
That's where it's at right now. I do think if it gets anywhere around 47.5, I'm not taking it.
Okay.
If it's 47.5, I'm taking the over.
Sure.
I do think I think the Cowboys are going to give you a bunch of late game garbage time touchdowns.
That's kind of what they rely on.
We just have to withstand it. We just have to hope the Bengals don't go for 30.
Yeah. For me, I'm taking Bengals minus 5.5. The line just feels a little short for me considering it's Cooper Rush on the other side. Not someone I expect to put up a lot of points. Not someone I expect to really keep up when the Bengals offense is going to turn into a shootout.
Cowboys fans talk about him like he's very good.
I mean, he's a good backup. He's
good.
a strong backup. I mean, he does hit CD very well. Like that does work. But I just think the Cowboys defense is just utterly depleted, and Bengals are going to kind of be able to dictate the pace of the game.
Do you think the Bengals have any more wins on this season? Like maybe 1 or 2?
I think they have 2 more.
So do you think at the end of the year they're picking in top 10?
Yeah. If two wins puts them there, I don't know exactly where they're at right now for the projected draft based on current records. But I mean, that's what I would do for the Bengals right now. Is I personally would tank for the draft picks.
Tanking is frowned upon in this world.
That's true.
Pick of the week. Let's get into pick of the week where we give you our number one guaranteed lock of the week. I'm going to give you mine.
Sure.
It's the Dolphins -6 against the Jets. I think the Jets are dead. I think Aaron Rodgers clearly is hurt and doesn't want to play anymore. And this whole organization is like, all right, we're going to clean house. It's over.
Yeah.
Bad vibes over there. And Miami still feels like they have a little bit of fight left in them. They still feel like
they see the light at the tunnel. Like
Yeah.
it's far away, but they see the light.
And if they're like, all right, if a few things bounce the right way, we could sneak in here.
Yeah.
And I think -6, I'm willing to take this line to 9.5. I really, really like.
Wow, that's a big move.
I really like the Miami Dolphins to blow out this team.
Sure. For me, I'm taking Jared Goff under 33.5 passing attempts. He's been under this line 9 out of 12 games so far this season. Lions ranked 25th in PROE, which is just your expected pass rates. Neutral situations, they're at -2.2%. And they're 27th in pass rate when a game is within 1 score. They live on Montgomery. They live on Gibbs. We've seen it week in and week out.
Yeah.
Goff can make the big splash play. He will throw the ball. Just 33.5 seems like a lot, especially when both these offenses right now, bottom 7 in time per play. They eat up a lot of the play clock before they get off the snap. Less plays overall, statistically speaking, in this game. Just feels like you're asking a lot.
I like it. I mean, your player props are pretty good. Like you give me player props, I'm like, just bet them. Last segment, question of the day.
Yep.
This question of the day is a little bit of a roundabout, so
Okay.
stick with me.
Sure.
Ready? Michigan, Ohio State played each other in a rivalry game.
Yes.
Ohio State playing for a lot.
Yeah.
They're going to get into the playoffs. They have a shot at winning a national championship. They paid a lot of money on their roster. Meanwhile, Michigan's kind of in a rebuild year, not really having a great year. And this weekend, Michigan bullied them. They handled them and won 13-10.
Yes.
Which has created a lot of discussion in the college world of Ohio State fans saying, even if we win the national championship, it still isn't good enough.
It's an asterisk of a season, like in like a diehard fan's mind.
So this is kind of what my question is. If you got swept by your rivals, but you still won a championship, would that sweep affect you? Or is that strictly to the fandom that I talked about earlier that is college football that really affects these fans because their Super Bowl is beating Michigan?
To me, it depends. Like it would affect me either way, but it's how much it affects me depends on when was it, when was the last game and you got swept by them, because college football is weird. You only get the one game.
Yeah, you only get one
shot. At least pro, you at least get 2 shots at it.
Yeah.
So when was the game and what has changed since that game? Because I think that in a rivalry game, things get messy, emotions run high, things get forgotten. Those are some of the worst games to play in.
Yeah.
Like those are some of the best, but some of the worst,
Yeah.
depending on where you come out of them. if you've made adjustments and they are clear to the fan base, like, hey, this team, we took lessons from it and now see where we are, and you go win the Natty, great. That is an amazing thing to do. Mm-hmm. If it looks like the same team that going into that game is coming out of that game, like Ohio State, for their 5-6 games leading up to that game, it looks like the same offense, same defensive styles. You have not made any adjustments, and you go win the Natty. The back of your head is, can Michigan do the same thing? Could they have won that Natty if they were in the same position?
If you're a Michigan fan, you're like, hey, if they win this Natty, we won a second in a row.
And it's going to live rent-free.
And at that point, if you're an Ohio State fan, you're kind of like, should we even try?
That's the hard part right there.
Well, you have to try because you spent $25 million on your roster in NIL. So,
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Bust Picks. We have a lot of cool stuff coming out. I'm going to be giving out a pick every single day for the rest of the year, so check that out on our TikTok. My name is Dio. This is Dawn. And remember, pray for your parlay.